So today we're going to be talking about how to, or why most people aren't at their optimal physical health, but then how to actually build out your optimal physical health. And I say physical health because there's definitely more variables to health than just physical. My name's Yona from customhealthcoaching.com. Let's do this. So today I'm going to share a story about a client of mine and the process we've taken her through to really get her from where she was to being well on the road to living out, the physical health that she wants to have. And this is the thing. So I suppose the first part of the process is actually getting really clear on what your ultimate physical health looks like. And for a lot of people don't even actually have the courage to make a start or to even step into what they really want. For other people, they do get a little bit clear on it, but maybe some people get quite clear on it, but then they step into it, they have the wrong approach, maybe they fail, and then they think, oh, this isn't possible for me, so they limit themselves, and then they maybe step into it again down the track, and they really limit themselves there because they've failed in the past. So what for her, the process was, she's someone who for the last 5 to 10 years has had really bad knee pain to the point where she'll be walking 100 meters and her knee will buckle and collapse a couple of times within 100 meters and she'll be in real bad pain. One leg's severely weaker. Because of this, she's limping, she's getting sore back pain, not in the best place. For her, for the last 5 to 10 years, that's been her reality, and for her to really step outside of that and think about what she really wants, which is, I want my legs to be even, I want to have no pain, I want to have greater mobility, improve my muscle mass, drop body fat, and improve my cardiovascular health, all this awesome stuff she really wants. It's quite hard for her to see different when she looks forward, and her experience for the last 10 years has been far from that. But the first step, and when she actually really started to have the courage to step into that and go, this is what I really want, then all of a sudden she is a lot more excited. She's really actually it's her truth. She's moving towards what she really wants. So that's the first step, is actually get really clear on what you want. For this lady, the next step was actually making a plan that is meeting her where she's at. Because for a lot of people, quite often we don't actually really get clear on what we want. We think maybe we are now where we were 5 years ago, where we used to be really fit, and our approach is, cool, I used to run 5Ks every day, so I probably should be able to do that again. Then you start running because you want to get fit again, and 2 weeks in, my knee's aching, I'm getting tendonitis in my hip. It's not the best experience. So second of all, we need to have an approach that is meeting us where we're at and really being specific to what we bring to the table, essentially. So for example, for this lady, she's severely lacking muscle in one leg. She's quite weak. She's got bad pain at certain ranges of motion within her knee. She's getting back pain. She's carrying extra weight. She's got a couple of chronic conditions. So the approach, that was very loud. The approach for her is going to be very different, and a plan for her and where she's starting is going to be very different to, say, a 25-year-old powerlifter who's been training really hard for the last 5 years, 5 days a week. He's got no health conditions, no injuries, and he's ready to go. If we were to give him the same program or her the same program as each other, they'd be looking at us going, what the hell? She'd be going, I can't do this. He'd be going, this is ridiculous. I could do this 10 times. So you need to have a plan that is actually specific to you, is specific to improving the variables you want to improve. And that's actually the next step. So the next step is getting you from where you are now to where you want to be, and actually creating a specific program that's going to improve the different variables that you want to improve. So if your endpoint for this lady, for example, looks like being pain-free within her knee, having no pain at certain ranges of motion, having much better mobility, dropping body fat, increasing muscle, increasing cardiovascular fitness, all this sort of stuff, she's now got stuff in her program that is specific to fixing that knee. She's got stuff in her program that's specific to stabilizing her pelvis. She's got stuff in her program that's specific to improving mobility through her squat, and so she can get down with the grandkids and actually be able to not get up and be riddled with aches and pains. So you need to actually have a plan that is specific. You need to have, the other things when looking at a plan as well is it needs to be progressive. So you can't just have the same program for, say you make a program and you keep the same program for 6 months, probably after a month you've well and truly updated or outdated that program. You've got the response you wanted to get from that program, and if you're actually really to keep progressing in the right direction, it's time to create a new program. So you need to have a progressive program. It needs to be adaptable. If you've got, you get 4 weeks in and you start, an old shoulder injury starts coming up, then we need to be able to rehab that shoulder injury and keep you moving in the right direction, because obstacles always come up. So your program needs to be progressive, it needs to be adaptable, it needs to be interesting as well. It needs to be something that you actually enjoy, because what's the likelihood of you sticking to it if you're not even enjoying what you're doing? So there's a thing, the law of accommodation. Typically, after people start to get a bit of progress for maybe 3 weeks, or they're doing an exercise or a different regime for 3 to 4 weeks, they tend to get bored. So we need to be able to adapt. We need to be able to keep people psychologically interested as well. So they're the 3 steps. First of all, you've got to get really clear on what your ultimate health looks like. The next step is actually really get a good picture of where you're at, what you bring to the table. And then it's about really building a specific plan that is adaptable, that is progressive, that is interesting, that you enjoy, that's going to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Thank you very much for listening. If you want to change your health, I'd love you to send me a direct message just with one thing you'd like to change, or one thing you'd like to improve, and I'll give you a couple of tips to be able to get you moving in the right direction. If you've watched this video and it sounds good, but you've got questions or different things don't make sense, send me a message as well, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. All right, enjoy your day.